49ers wide receiver Brandon Aiyuk expects Philadelphia's defense to get exposed against Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs. Clyde Edwards-helaire, he's running back, barely played this year. He could play in the Super Bowl. And Madden predicts the Eagles versus Chiefs Super Bowl champion. I'm Thomas Mott. This is the Thomas Mott Show. What's up, guys? Thomas Mott here. Welcome to the Thomas Mott Show on a Monday. We are 6 days away from Super Bowl 57, and a lot is going on regarding both the Philadelphia Eagles, the Chiefs, and the rest of the National Football League. But we got to start with the Brandon Aiyuk comments from his couch after losing to the Eagles about how the Eagles defense is actually terrible and they're going to get exposed by the Chiefs. You see it pulled up here. This is, I believe, on one of the SF Niners videos. I'm not exactly sure who this comes from, but this guy's interviewing Brandon Aiyuk right here. Here's the full 53-second or 59-second clip. Let's take a listen.
When I was talking shit to Cowboys players who were talking about us, look at me. I'm sitting on the couch. I had no room to talk about nobody playing next week, so I just leave it.
Couch. I can't say nothing.
But like I said, I got the Kansas. I got the Chiefs. I think the Chiefs. I don't know. I just think Philly has definitely has.
Got Kelsey.
They got their hands full. They got their hands full. I don't know fully about that defense. I don't know. They talk about them being a good defense. I'm not too sure. I'm not sure. I think the pass game, this Kansas City pass game will expose what we thought we were going to be able to expose before some unfortunate circumstances happen. So we'll see. But like I said, you got to get lucky to win the Super Bowl, and they just got one.
He actually didn't get to finish there. He finished by saying they got extremely lucky. Okay, a lot to break down on this. This is obviously kind of a... It's going around the internet right now just because it's a hot take, and he's basically saying the Eagles defense is not that good, and essentially wants to emphasize the fact that had Brock Purdy not been injured, then the 49ers would have exposed the Eagles pass defense. Okay, it's very fun to play the what-if game. It's super fun to play the what-if game. Does this remind you of somebody? Does this remind you of Alvin Kamara back in 2017 whenever the Saints lost to the Vikings in the Minneapolis Miracle, and yet Kamara was saying, had we not lost in this ridiculous way, we would have blown the Eagles out. Well, guess what? You didn't even get the chance to blow the Eagles out because you lost to the Vikings and Stephon Diggs. The same thing goes for the 49ers. Okay, yes, you can make a case. It would not have been 31-7 had Brock Purdy actually not gotten injured. That's fine. But Brock Purdy got injured because you couldn't block our defensive line. That was the first possession. That was Hassan Reddick coming off the edge and blowing up Brock Purdy, causing that fumble and giving the Eagles the football back. And this whole idea that defensive line would have not continued to get pressure on Brock Purdy throughout the entire 4 quarters of that game is ridiculous. Now, I'm not arguing with Brandon Aiyuk saying that there are some opportunities to score and at least move the football on the Eagles throwing through the middle of the field. Everyone knows that. That's how Gannon's defense works. The middle of the field is the area you can get most exposed by. But it's not like the Eagles defense has been absolutely obliterated by football teams all year long and have been giving up 35-plus points a game. That's not been the case at all. I mean, look at the Eagles' overall win-loss record and actually the overall point total for each game that they played so far this year. And these are, again, pretty good offenses with good receivers. 7 points given up against the Vikings, 8 against the Commanders, 21 against the Jaguars, 17 against the Cardinals, 17 against the Cowboys, 13 against the Steelers, 17 against the Texans, 32 against the Commanders. There's your one loss with Jalen Hurts, okay? 16 against the Colts, 33 against the Packers. That might be a good indicator. That was probably a good attacking the middle of the defense. 10 against the Titans, 22 against the Giants, 20 against the Bears. 40 against the Cowboys. Okay. Saints, 10. Giants, 16. You go to the postseason, 7-7. Yes, sure, there are some opportunities to score on this Eagle defense. There have been some players and some quarterbacks have been able to do it, most notably Dak that one time, not against Jalen Hurts on offense, a little dynamic change there, and Aaron Rodgers. You're telling me Brock Purdy was going to shred the Eagle defense and score more than 31 points. That's the flip side of this. It's not like the final score was 10-7, where you could go, oh, well, if Brock Purdy would have been in there, we could have scored 14 points, and the Eagles were held to 10, we could have beat them. We scored 31 on you, Brandon. 31. Your defense is the one that got exposed. Your defense was the number one defense going into the NFC Championship game the entire year, and it had stopped everybody. And oh my gosh, Dak Prescott looked like a child against your defense. You gave up 31. And it wasn't even 31 where Jalen Hurts threw for 4 touchdowns and it was a massive A.J. Brown day. It was 31 just straight up on the ground. It was 3 rushing touchdowns in the first half. This whole idea that the Eagle defense is going to get absolutely exposed by Patrick Mahomes in Kansas City, to me, is utterly ridiculous. Now, that's not saying Mahomes and the Chiefs offense can't move the football and they can't score. Sure, the Chiefs could drop 30 on Philadelphia, 100%. But the idea that the Eagles are frauds and they got lucky and had Brock Purdy not been hurt, they'd be in wham. This is the same BS that we get every single year, that the Eagles do well. Oh, they got lucky. Oh, if Stephon Diggs, Minneapolis Miracle. Oh, if Brock Purdy hadn't gotten hurt, you weren't able to score at all regardless. It would not have mattered. They scored 31 on your defense. It's utterly ridiculous. Thumbs up for Brandon Aiyuk. At least he did say, I'll give Aiyuk credit, he did say, hey, I'm on the couch. I can't really say anything against, the Eagles just because of the fact that I'm on the couch and they're advancing. But, so we give him credit where credit is due. But this idea that the Eagle defense, especially the pass defense, is bad when they have the 2 best corner tandem in the National Football League and one of the best safeties in C.J. Gardner-Johnson, plus probably the best overall pass rush in the National Football League, and it's going to get exposed. Forgive me if I'm a little bit hesitant on calling that a factual matter of life in the National Football League. I think the Chiefs are going to score. I think it could be, 24-21, 27-20. I think it's going to be, probably a 10-point swing either way. But the Chiefs are not dropping 40 or 35 or 31 on the Eagle defense. Trust me, pass rush is going to matter. The Eagles are going to get to Patrick Mahomes and make a big difference. Thumbs up on that if you guys agree. Okay, I want to move over here to this, Arrowhead Pride website, their SB Nation article, talking about activating Clyde Edwards-helaire, who has been back at practice the past couple of weeks, despite the fact he's been on injured reserve since the Charger game in November. And so, essentially, the breakdown of this, and they do a good job here on the website, is talking about how Isaiah Pacheco has come in and taken over as the number 1 running back, and he's the best running back currently on the Chiefs roster. However, Edwards-helaire, most notably the running back for LSU, who was alongside Joe Burrow in the 2019 championship run, he might get activated off IR for the Super Bowl. Here's this quote. It's difficult to say definitively what Edwards-helaire's role is in the current iteration of the Chiefs offense. He's been placed on injured reserve. Chiefs have featured Pacheco and Jerick McKinnon as a nice tandem in both the running and passing game. It's important that the Chiefs don't interrupt that flow by trying to force Edwards-helaire into the committee. Pacheco has been crucial to Chiefs' postseason success, and McKinnon has had a huge role in the pass protection against the Eagles' elite pass rush. Ultimately, for the Chiefs, they decide on who will provide the best snaps, Edwards-helaire or Ronald Jones. However, there is a chance they could activate him because he has been spotted at practice. You see it here. Edwards-helaire has been spotted at practice the past few weeks and appears healthy enough to be activated, end quote. So we don't necessarily know if he will be activated, and as it's mentioned there, they have basically 3 other running backs who are fully capable of carrying the load, but it is another option for Kansas City if they feel like Edwards-helaire offers a good enough matchup against the Eagles defense versus someone like a Jerick McKinnon, because they will obviously play Isaiah Pacheco. Will it actually matter in the long term in the grand scheme of things of Super Bowl 57? Probably not. It's not like, again, Edwards-helaire has played a lot this year. It's been since November, and he wasn't that effective whenever he was playing, but it is something to keep an eye on here as Kansas City is trying to figure out all of their skill player positions, because we already know Mecole Hardman is unlikely to play, and they're already pretty banged up at wide receiver with Juju Smith-Schuster playing, but not being 100%. So we'll keep an eye on this, but I did see this article pop up and wanted to mention that, hey, if you haven't won the Chiefs a lot this year, I might remember Clyde Edwards-helaire being a big-time back a couple of years ago. It's not the case right now, but he could be activated, so we will see. Okay, I have not gotten an email or a DM from Pat O'Donnell, who is the Mott Gold level member who won the Eagles championship game towel right here, randomly selected from our 15, 20 members of the Thomas Mott Show. So, Pat, you have a couple more days to send me your information so I can actually send you the towel here. I'll mail it to you if you're in the United States. If not, then I'm going to select somebody else. And so be sure to be a member. Hit the join button down below for a chance if Pat does not get to me by, let's say, Wednesday. Then I will go ahead and pick a new winner of the towel. So go ahead and join the crew down below. Okay, let's have a little bit of fun here before we go ahead and finish up on this edition of the Thomas Mott Show. Madden has simmed the Super Bowl, and guess who won? I'll give you a hint. It's the team that we root for here on the Thomas Mott Show. The Chiefs lose, the Eagles win in the Madden Super Bowl simulation. Now, this is stupid. It doesn't actually matter, right? It's a video game with a prediction, and it's not like it's right all the time. But still, it is fun to kind of go and see what Madden decided in terms of the Super Bowl here. It is, quote, Madden 23's official simulation is predicting the Philadelphia Eagles to pull away in the second half and handle the Chiefs 31-17. Hey, I think that's kind of the score I was predicting, but I digress. Philadelphia Eagle quarterback Jalen Hurts, who was named the game's most valuable player in the simulation, completed 26 of 33 passes for 282 yards, 2 touchdowns, no picks, and ran 10 times for 88 yards and another touchdown. Pretty accurate. Kind of sounds like what it would take for the Eagles to win the Super Bowl. He accounted for the Eagles' first 3 touchdowns of the game, a 9-yard run in the first quarter, and 2 third-quarter passes, 26-yard to A.J. Brown and 63 to Devontae Smith. Gosh, that'd be fun. 2 touchdowns helped the Eagles take a decisive lead after being tied with the Kansas City Chiefs 10-10 at halftime. Hurts was Philadelphia's leading rusher. Sanders had 15 carries for 78 yards and the Eagles' final touchdown. And Brown's game-leading receiver was the game's leading receiver with 8 catches for 144 yards and a touchdown. Devontae Smith 6 for 92 and a touchdown. Chiefs D-tackle Chris Jones, only Chiefs player to get a sack. He sacked him twice. And Travis Kelce scored in the game's opening drive with a 4-yard receiving touchdown. However, Mahomes was only 29 of 39 for 249, 1 touchdown, and a pick by C.J. Gardner-Johnson. They go on to say that Reddick sacked Mahomes twice, and Isaiah Pacheco had 11 carries for 38 yards and a touchdown. So, we can take it for what it is, but it does say here, all this might end up being a good sign for the Chiefs, though. The Madden simulation has missed the past 2 seasons, picking the Bengals last year, where the Rams won, and the Chiefs in the Super Bowl 55, where the Bucks won. They did get it right in 54 when they predicted the Chiefs to beat the 49ers and Mahomes to be the MVP. The simulation missed on the 2 Super Bowls before that, including predicting the Patriots would beat the Eagles and Super Bowl 52, a game the Eagles won. So, who knows, right? Always fun to go ahead and look at the Madden simulation. I know, it's stupid, but I saw it and I wanted to go ahead and bring it up to you guys here on a Monday. We have plenty more stuff happening throughout the entire week, trying to set up some fun interviews. We'll see if those actually happen. People are busy, right? They got their own shows and their own network hits and all that stuff to go ahead and happen. But we'll have plenty of nonstop football coverage here on the Thomas Mott Show. So if you're new, I appreciate it. If you have not subscribed, go down below and hit that subscribe button. I'm Thomas Mott. This has been the Thomas Mott Show.